players and the state of our competition.
In the Spotlight is sponsored by Sensodyne toothpaste, the #1 dentist-recommended brand for sensitive teeth.
Introducing new Parodontax, the toothpaste that helps prevent bleeding gums. If you spit blood when you brush or floss, you may have gum problems and could be on the journey to much worse. Help stop the journey of gum disease. Try new Parodontax toothpaste.
Things are about to get real. New Kingswood barbecue sauces. Real ingredients like brown sugar and smoked hickory. Built on 90 years of grilling tradition. Start something real. New Kingswood sauces.
During the summer's best sales event, you can do endless online research about the XT5. Read all about the available cut-and-sewn leather interior, intuitive technology, and road trip-worthy legroom. But really, there's nothing like experiencing it for yourself. You can drive a car, or you can drive a Cadillac. Now during the summer's best sales event, current Cadillac owners get this low-mileage lease on this Cadillac XT5 from around $389 per month. Visit your local Cadillac dealer.
I lost my mom from pancreatic cancer.
My mom was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer 8 years ago, and she still lives today as a survivor.
I lost my grandmother to pancreatic cancer after 29 days. I walk so that someone else can have a fighting chance.
Such an amazing opportunity to raise money for research for pancreatic cancer.
Be a part of the cure. Come walk.
If pancreatic cancer has affected you or a loved one, reach out to the Les Garden Foundation and be a part of the cure.
I got a mortgage offer from the bank today.
What? You never just get one offer. Go to LendingTree.com and shop multiple loan offers for free.
Free?
Yeah, could save thousands. You should probably buy me dinner.
No.
Go to LendingTree.com for a new home loan or refinance. Receive up to 5 free offers and choose the loan that's right for you. Our average customer could lower their monthly bills by over $300. Go to LendingTree.com right now.
That's Odell Beckham Jr. joining us. There's nothing better than doing the show, and there's a really cool play that goes on behind us, and you can hear the fans react.
Giants Training Camp Live. Daily reports continue Monday at 6 on MSG.
For Major League Soccer, the improving skill on the field is a great marker as to just how far the league has come. But according to Commissioner Don Garber, more eyeballs on matches are another metric of robust health. In 2017, Facebook reached an agreement with the league to stream a number of games on its platform. That deal came on the heels of a new television pack a few years prior, one which pays MLS an estimated $90 million per year. Television. How important is that, not only to you, but to, I guess, every sport?
We have this symbiotic relationship with the media overall. With MLS, very digital, very social, less traditional, if you will, than the more traditional major leagues. But our broadcast partners are really the lifeblood of our league and are the lifeblood of professional sports. Driving most of your revenue, most of that revenue goes back to your players, giving you the ability to have a 2-hour advertisement for your sport. But in essence, you could never buy that, friend. You could never deliver that kind of connection to fans week in and week out, several times a week, professionally done, and in essence, going inside the lines and outside the lines all day long. And that's why I say it's the most important partner that any professional sports league could have.
How important is it for you to look at the age of the viewer? I'm sure baseball's a little bit concerned because the average age of the person watching baseball is a little bit older. How important is that?
It's crucially important. Frankly, it's what's driving the success of MLS. More young people follow our league as a percentage of our fan base than any other league. I think you might have heard this statistic. Those that are between 18 and 25, their second favorite sport after the National Football League is soccer. Major League Soccer is a big part of that. So young people are now coming into becoming a fan, and they're going to soccer in ways that they didn't 20 or 30 years ago. Our fans are very young, very millennial. They have a global perspective because millennials do generally. They're connected through various social media outlets to the rest of the world. And soccer is a big part of what's happening in the rest of the world. In many ways, that is a bit of a challenge for us. But having young fans, having a diverse fan base is crucially important to us, and I'm sure the other leagues are focusing in on it so that they don't lose the next generation of sports fans.
Is the United States now on par as far as Europeans looking at soccer in the United States?
You know, it's an interesting question, and there's a nuance to it, because I think from afar, I'll just take the European clubs, they look at MLS as a system. They think we're probably the best marketers. We have the best strategies in terms of how we develop our fans. We use technology better than any of the other, call them international leagues. We got all the off-the-field stuff perfect. Now we've got to spend the same amount of time, the same amount of energy growing the game so that we are viewed by the other leagues as on par with them as it relates to the quality of our players and the state of our competition. Now, we're only 20 years old, so we've got, we're behind the 8 ball in terms of the development of the game on the field, but I think we're growing faster than those leagues and the global football community ever thought that we would.
Pete Rozelle told me he was commissioner of football at the time. We were talking about success of soccer in Europe as opposed to the United States. He said, well, in the United States, it's a sport where people participate. They don't watch. Do you think now that all these years later, those kids are now adults watching?
No doubt. That interview was a long time ago, and maybe at that time that was happening, right? Because, you have to create a culture of fan following. It's not something you just turn on the switch and then you have an immediate fan base. But ultimately, the World Cup has massive ratings. The Premier League has got 1 million people watching their games early on the Saturday or Sunday morning. So soccer fans in America will watch soccer on television. It's a television product. FIFA is getting more money from Telemundo and from Fox for the World Cup rights in the United States than they're paying in Italy or they're paying in Brazil or they're paying in China, because there are a lot of soccer fans that are going to watch those games. So I never subscribed to, when I took this job 18 years ago, and I don't believe it today, that Americans are not going to watch soccer on television. They are. They're watching a lot of it. I got to get them to watch more Major League Soccer. But they're watching the game all the time. More soccer on television as a sport than any other sport in America, by the way. We want to be relevant. You want to be more part of the conversation. You want to eliminate any of these questions as to when is soccer going to be like the other leagues.
My name is Will Fulton, and I write about food. Food in sports, it's definitely taken to a higher level than it's ever been before. There's kind of this arms race between every franchise. Who can make the most creative food? Who can make the food that's Instagrammed the most times? As a sports fan, you shouldn't be afraid to go in there and try new things. It's not just about peanuts and Cracker Jacks anymore. So don't be afraid to get a little weird and try something new, because there's legit chefs doing really cool things with food there.
Focused is sponsored by Tums. Fights heartburn fast.
This summer, people are experiencing all the excitement Chevy has to offer.
Oh boy, I'm looking straight up. Holy smokes. I can't tell I'm towing anything.
Wow, that's the jam right there.
Go for thrilling drives and deals at the Chevy Summer Drive.
I want to go to a Chevy dealership right when I get home.
It's the Chevy Summer Drive. Current qualified competitive lessees can get this Chevy Cruze for around $169 a month. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
We created the Ripple, the donut and a donut and a donut. Right away, it was a success. I mean, it really took off. What people don't know is that it all started with points from my Chase Ink card. I bought the ingredients, utensils, even custom donut cutters.
Wow.
All with 80,000 points.
What will you create with your points? Learn more about the Ink Business Preferred Card.
Prepare ship for light speed.
No, light speed is too slow.
Light speed too slow?
Yes, we're gonna have to go right to ludicrous speed.
Everybody now!
employer spokesperson. This is an important message for anyone who took the prescription drug Xarelto or Pradaxa and had a serious bleeding event. If you or a loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered from a serious bleeding event, call the Pradaxa helpline.
Call 1-800-820-0894.
Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to serious internal bleeding, stroke, and death. You may be entitled to compensation. Call the Pradaxa helpline for a free consultation.
Call 1-800-820-0894.
One of the hallmarks of Don Garber's time as Major League Soccer commissioner has been the league's move to soccer-specific stadiums. When Garber signed on in 1999, there was only one such site. Now, more than half of the MLS clubs play in a venue solely dedicated to the sport. And as he has done his entire tenure, Garber continues to lead the sport into uncharted waters in the United States. MLS anticipates further expansion very soon. Where do you see yourself taking this sport now into the future?
Well, growth is a big part of it. We're 23 teams. We want to be 28 teams, and that's in the near term. That's by 2020 or 2022. The broad strategic answer, the 30,000-foot answer is we want to be relevant. You want to be more part of the conversation. You want to eliminate any of these questions as to when is soccer going to be like the other leagues. There's enough to go around. Nobody asked that about the NHL. They might have 20, 30 years ago. It's one of the top major leagues. We just want to be part of the conversation here in this country with the other major league sports, and probably as important, if not more important, we want to be considered one of the top leagues in the world.
In a quiet moment when you're in your office or home, you ever say to yourself, yeah, we're moving, and we're moving fast.
I think any good leader is not going to step back too much, because the minute you take your foot off the pedal, the car slows down. Now, you don't want to have it pressed too far down to the floor or you're going to crash your car. So somewhere in the middle is this constant flow of progress. You take a step back and say, wow, this is just real and amazing, and fans who believe in their club and believe in their city and as an MLS team. And that's empowering, because when you can take that success, maybe that success in San Diego or Sacramento or St. Louis or Phoenix or San Antonio or Miami, and all of that kind of momentum, as we talked about, is going to help get us to where we need to get to.
If I would have told you this 20 years ago, this would be happening before you became commissioner, would you have said, I don't believe it?
I would have said it, and I would have said it 18 years ago when I took the job, and probably even 10 years ago. So that we hit that tipping point that people like me in business talk about a lot. You got to reach that point where you've gone from trying to be something to being that entity, and then going into the next phase, the 2.0, if you will, of what our growth will be. The first 10, 15 years, we were just trying to exist, figuring out what our business model was, getting stadiums built, what was the proper balance of those designated international players and American players, how do you develop homegrown players so you can get that idol worship that we were talking about earlier. And now all that's happening in its own way. And now what do we do next? Where does expansion come in? Where do bigger, better facilities come in? How do we get more connections to new fans that are coming into the sport? And what's the right platform? Is it digital? Is it social? Is it the traditional broadcasters? There are hundreds of things in this new sort of phase of our growth that we've got to focus in on.
Hi, I'm Sam Morrell. This summer on MSG, we have a show where we're talking sports every night, and they picked the right host, a guy who knows and loves people in New York, a native New Yorker, like this guy right here.
Oh, God! Animals! You're all animals!
Oh, I want to do this show.
I left after 2006, and I closely followed 2010 and 2014. When the opportunity came about, I didn't hesitate. I know the pool of players, and I understand what needs to get done. I've been absolutely shocked where the sport is now in 2017 and how people that may not even like the sport of soccer can follow it and can identify with us and understand the challenge we have ahead. I really believe that the United States is going to win a World Cup one day, and I hope it's in my lifetime. This is the greatest time in the history of our country to be an American soccer player. You have a lot of choices. Players in MLS are thrilled with the opportunity. The league is growing every year. It's grown leaps and bounds since 1996 when I participated in the first year with DC United. Our very elite players also have an option to play in Europe. So if you think about many years ago, for an American soccer player, it's the best of times.
Optimism for what lies ahead would seem to be a necessary outlook for anyone in the position of Bruce Arena, who is in his second stint as head coach of the United States men's national soccer team. But this opinion holds more weight than most. After all, many say Arena has done more for the American men's version of the sport than anyone else. Now in his mid-60s, Bruce has devoted over half his life to coaching the beautiful game in the United States, and he has won big at every level. With a resume like his, it would be tempting to think of him as a lifer of the sport, but his deep love for the game, known to some as European football, only began to grow after he took a shot at success on the gridiron. When you were growing up, why'd you go to soccer?
There was almost no reason to do it, except I can tell you this story real quick. When I was growing up in Long Island, I was on the quarterback of the freshman football team. At the time, I weighed 105 pounds and was 5 feet 2 inches tall. And my left tackle was 6'9", 325. And throwing passes on the side of the left tackle was so awful difficult, and I wasn't growing. I wrestled on the varsity team in 9th grade, 102 pounds. My sophomore year, 115. My junior year, 123. I stopped playing football. I became a soccer player, wrestler, and lacrosse player, and eventually dropped wrestling and stuck with soccer and lacrosse in college.
At Long Island's Nassau Community College, Bruce was a star lacrosse and soccer player. He soon transferred to Cornell University, where he won national honors in lacrosse, the only sport he initially intended to play for the Big Red. However, after 2 goalies were injured, Arena stepped in front of the soccer net and led his school to the 1972 Final Four, being named the most valuable defensive player at tournament's end. You played soccer and lacrosse. How difficult was it to choose one over the other? Because you were very, very good in both.
Well, it was an honor to play both. I had a little bit of a taste professionally in both sports. And obviously, I was in an era in the 70s where both leagues I played in folded. So those decisions were made real quick for me. And then in coaching, I was doing both at the collegiate level. But I did see at a point that soccer had great potential in the United States, and I chose to dedicate myself full-time into the sport of soccer, and it's reaped some benefits for me.
You had an opportunity at one time to try out for the Cosmos. How important is it to get back to where the Cosmos enjoyed that popularity, which was incredible in New York?
It was great at the time. And again, it's funny as we look back. I was drafted by the Cosmos at a time where, Pelé still wasn't there. And my opportunity, I was finishing up my senior year at Cornell and captain the lacrosse team, and I had to choose from $200 a week and also could work at KLM at JFK Airport or stay at Cornell, and I chose to stay. 2 years later, it started to look a little different when Pelé came over, but I don't regret that decision. I chased a dream. I was influenced greatly by Richie Moran, lacrosse coach on Long Island, a coach at Elmont. It was a rival to Cary High School in Franklin Square, where I played. He moved on to Cornell as the lacrosse coach there. I followed him to Cornell because I thought the world of the man, watching him on the sidelines as a young kid and being around him at Cornell. He was truly my mentor, and he got me into coaching.
After serving as an assistant at Cornell, Arena moved on to an opportunity at the University of Virginia, where he became the head soccer coach and assistant lacrosse coach. In 1985, after 7 years of doing both, he left his position with the lacrosse program and dedicated himself fully to leading the soccer squad.
First time I met Bruce was in the late 80s, early 90s when he was recruiting me to the University of Virginia. Of course, I was impressed and excited to have the interest from UVA, which at the time was one of the top college programs, and it was exciting. As a teenager growing up in New Jersey, there was a lot of players from New Jersey who'd gone to play with Bruce at UVA, Tony Meola, John Harkes. Bruce was extremely competitive. He hated to lose, and he had that mentality instilled in all the players and us collectively as a group, and he expected us to beat everybody when we stepped on the field. And so he gave us confidence in difficult games and in tough environments, and he pushed us nothing less than winning and bringing home championships. And during my time there, the ACC championship was probably as difficult as the NCAA championship to win. We won it every year, and then we went on to win the national championship. So it was an amazing run. I don't think it'll ever be matched in college soccer. The great thing about it is that we did it together as a team. It wasn't always the All-Americans and national team players that contributed to the success. It was a credit to Bruce because he found players, and I think all the way to today, he just had the right way to put the pieces together to have a successful team and get the best out of everyone. And he held players accountable. He was fair, and ultimately expected nothing but the best from everybody every single day. That's why so many players have flourished under Bruce throughout his entire coaching career.
How difficult was it for you to make the decision to go from collegiate soccer to professional soccer? Because professional soccer wasn't the biggest thing in the world at the time.
Right. In 1996, I had arguably the finest collegiate program in the history of college soccer. And I left, but I did that because that's the challenge we all want in our business. If it's a player, you aspire to play at the highest level. If you're a coach, you aspire to coach at the highest level. And I think taking on the challenge to coach professionally was something for me that I really needed to test myself. And 21 years later, I'm happy I did that. I think it's the greatest honor you can have in coaching in this country is coaching your national team. I had to go back to the Galaxy and ask real quick, can you let me go? And they respected that request.
COPD makes it hard to breathe. So to breathe better, I go with a Noro.
COPD tries to say go this way. I say I'll go my own way with a Noro.
Once daily Anoro contains 2 medicines called bronchodilators that work together to significantly improve lung function all day and all night. Anoro is not for asthma. It contains a type of medicine that increases risk of death in people with asthma. The risk is unknown in COPD. Anoro won't replace rescue inhalers for sudden symptoms and should not be used more than once a day. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition, high blood pressure, glaucoma, prostate, bladder, or urinary problems. These may worsen with Anoro. Call your doctor if you have worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain while taking Anoro.
Ask your doctor about Anoro.
Get your first prescription free at Anoro.com.
Severe weather can cost you thousands in repairs, and driving wind and rain can destroy your home. Hi, Phil Swift here. This storm season, get the entire family of Flex Seal products. Everyone loves Flex Seal, the easy way to coat, seal, and stop leaks fast. This rubberized coating creates a super strong barrier. It's actually liquid rubber in a can. And our incredible Flex Seal liquid starts out super thick and turns into a strong, flexible rubber. Brush, roll, dip, or pour to create a watertight seal that lasts for years. With Flex Shot, you can caulk, bond, and seal out the elements. Simply push the trigger to make quick repairs. And for big damage, there's Flex Tape, the super strong waterproof tape that can patch, bond, seal, and repair. Just like batteries and flashlights, make the Flex Seal family part of your storm preparation kit.
When Bruce came into the national team, he really changed the program. He brought a level of professionalism and accountability to all the players and even U.S. soccer, and he made us believe. He made us believe that we can beat anybody, and he really was the shakeup that the national team needed. I was there before, and we'd had some level of success, but nothing like the time we had under Bruce, where he was the first to bring in young players like Landon Donovan and DeMarcus Beasley into the team, and he got the best out of some experienced players that were discarded before that. And above all, he raised the profile of the national team unlike anybody else did before, not just from results, but from the way we played. And I think that was highlighted in 2002 World Cup, where it wasn't only about getting results, but it was also, I think, the best soccer that the national team has played. And you know, he built a spirit within the team that never existed before that.
Unfortunately for Bruce Arena, the next World Cup did not go nearly as well. In 2006, the U.S. finished last in Group E. Weeks after, it was announced that his contract would not be renewed. Bruce headed back to the MLS, first coaching the New York Red Bulls, and then in 2008, moving on to the Los Angeles Galaxy. After a few rebuilding years, the club hit its stride in 2011, capturing both the Supporters' Shield and the MLS Cup. Under Arena, the Galaxy would go on to have immense success, capturing 2 more MLS Cups before Bruce was asked to return to the national team. All of a sudden you get a knock on your door that we need you to come over and take over the team for the World Cup. What is it like to get that knock on the door?
It's a knock that I take every day of the year. I think it's the greatest honor you can have in coaching in this country is coaching your national team. I had to go back to the Galaxy and ask real quick, can you let me go? And they respected that request, but I would never hesitate at the opportunity to coach our national team.
They respected the request, but did you have to convince them?
I think they knew that this is my calling, and I needed to do it. I am very grateful for the LA Galaxy for the way they handle the situation.
You've been with the Galaxy, you've been with the Red Bulls, 2 of the major markets. You're competing against other sports. How difficult is that for the Galaxy and the Red Bulls?
I can't speak for the Red Bulls today. I can speak for the Galaxy today. It's a difficult marketplace. We have 2 basketball teams. We have a hockey team, 2 NFL teams, and not even thinking about the fact in Orange County we have a professional baseball team and hockey team. It is a very competitive sports market, and the sun comes out every day in Los Angeles, and people have other choices. Sometimes they just want to go to the beach, so they support only winners. And the Galaxy know that in order to get the kind of support they want to have to be winners. A good player is a good player, you know, regardless of where you play. And our domestic league now is at a high enough level to allow our players to compete with anyone in the world.
Focused is sponsored by Sensodyne Toothpaste, the #1 dentist-recommended brand for sensitive teeth.
Introducing new Parodontax, the toothpaste that helps prevent bleeding gums. If you spit blood when you brush or floss, you may have gum problems and could be on the journey to much worse. helps stop the journey of gum disease. Try new Parodontax toothpaste.
Things are about to get real. New Kingswood barbecue sauces. Real ingredients like brown sugar and smoked hickory. Built on 90 years of grilling tradition. Start something real. New Kingswood sauces.
How the 2017 Nissan Rogue beat RAV4 to become America's best-selling SUV? By being the best. Rogue features Nissan's best safety technologies, better cargo room, the best views, and features RAV4 could only hope for. Sorry, RAV4. Guess that's why Nissan Rogue is America's best-selling SUV. Get to your local Nissan dealer today and lease the Rogue family starting at $159 per month or get $2,000 Conquest cash on Rogue.
Attention blood thinner users. Thousands of blood thinner users may have been exposed to serious risk by these dangerous medications. If you or a loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-956-9150. Again, that's 1-800-956-9150.
Su salud es un regalo que debe ser valorado y por eso desde 1997 estoy proveyendo servicios quiroprácticos a la comunidad. Si usted sufre de dolor de espalda baja, cuello o ha tenido un accidente de auto o una caída en el trabajo o se ha lastimado, usted necesita hacer una cita hoy mismo. Hola, soy el Dr. Estrada y entiendo que la salud es un valor. Y aquí en Kennedy Wellness Center te ayudaremos a mantener una vida saludable por medio del tratamiento quiropráctico.
Bruce has a really unique way of finding players that other coaches perhaps wouldn't select. Bruce came into the national team. He created competition for places. He tapped into MLS, into the players that were doing well in MLS, and that was the first time that a coach did that and believed in the players that were playing at a good level in MLS, that they could translate to the international game.
There was a mindset at one time, you have to play in Europe to be good against international teams, even if you come back to play in the United States. Does that still hold true or no?
It doesn't. I think you can clearly argue that if you play at a higher level of competition, you're going to get better as a player, a little bit sharper. And I wouldn't disagree with that. However, my experience as a national team coach, I've had 8 years previous to this tenure, where MLS players or our domestic players have competed well. I know in World Cup qualifying on CONCACAF, our domestic players can compete well. However, the next step then would be the World Cup if we qualify for it. And that's perhaps where we might lean on our European-based players a little bit more. However, a good player is a good player, you know, regardless of where you play. And our domestic league now is at a high enough level to allow our players to compete with anyone in the world. And I feel confident that I can play any of those guys when called upon. So I feel real comfortable with the pool of players we have in MLS, and I hope to complement them the right way with the players we have playing abroad.
For Bruce, it was also important that he had players that were thinking about the team first. So it's not always and only about picking the best players. It's about picking players that will fill a role. He has no doubt that the 11 he selects to play will get a result against anybody. And I think that's something that you could see, whether it was when he was coaching the national team or in MLS, is that he brings the best out of players. And it's one of his best traits as a coach, is the confidence he gives to the team.
What type of an impact will you have on the game while it's going on?
My impact is from the preparation we have during the week, getting the players right mentally. Things happen in games. In soccer, you have a game plan. That game plan can go right out the window in the first couple of minutes if you give up a goal. So we need to have our players prepared properly. In our sport, as you probably know, substitutions are rare. You're allowed 3 over 90 minutes. There are no timeouts. The players have to be prepared. That's the influence I have. We can make some adjustments during the game, but really our players have to go into games fully confident and also prepared to make adjustments. That's the mark a coach puts on his team in preparing them to play a game.
Toughest decision for you?
I think it's fairly similar to any professional sport. I'm dealing with elite athletes that have a lot of confidence in themselves and big egos. But you have to pick 11 to play. And that's always difficult. And the ones that don't play, you got to make sure they're on board as well. So the psychology inside your team and how you prepare everyone mentally and build a team concept is critically important.
You've coached superstars. How difficult is that?
It's a challenge.
I'll bet.
You know, it's at times time-consuming.
I've seen it.
There's a lot of man management that goes involved with the elite players as well as the players at the bottom of the roster. One of the things I pride myself in is that I try to have good communication with all the players on the roster. But at the end of the day, you do kind of know who the key players are, and you got to make sure that you're on the same page as they are.
You know, it's interesting. Years ago, there was a player I played with. He felt managers would much prefer managing the blue-collar player as opposed to that one superstar, because it's easier to deal with this guy, the blue-collar player, and he's going to give you 100% all the time, and maybe with the superstar you have to, I don't know, give him a hug.
Yeah, but that more elite player is probably, the reason why he's elite is because he can make the plays in a game that make a difference. So if you can bring him into the team the right way, you can be more successful.
Well, they say one of the things with the Patriots, the big thing is Brady works as hard or harder than everybody else. So I guess as a coach, you look for a superstar to work like that.
No question about it. I actually talked to one of the Patriot players, and one of the stories he was telling me is when Brady came back from his 4-game suspension, Belichick said, "I'm not sure you're going to play. I got to see how you practice this week." That's a strong coach. That's a leader.
Strong coach. But he made the right decision.
He did. He played the right guy, I think.
Yes, he did.
Our talent's getting better. We're catching up. I would not have said that 20 years ago, and I can say it today. We just need now in our country to create the right environment where our players can get over the top.
My name is Will Fulton, and I write about food. Food in sports, it's definitely taken to a higher level than it's ever been before. There's kind of this arms race between every franchise. Who can make the most creative food? Who can make the food that's Instagrammed the most times? As a sports fan, you shouldn't be afraid to go in there and try new things. It's not just about peanuts and Cracker Jacks anymore. So don't be afraid to get a little weird and try something new, because there's legit chefs doing really cool things with food there.
Focused is sponsored by Tums. Fights heartburn fast.
During the summer's best sales event, you can do endless online research about the XT5. Read all about the available cut-and-sewn leather interior, intuitive technology, and road trip-worthy legroom. But really, there's nothing like experiencing it for yourself. You can drive a car, or you can drive a Cadillac. Now during the summer's best sales event, current Cadillac owners get this low-mileage lease on this Cadillac XT5 from around $389 per month. Visit your local Cadillac dealer.
Chances are, the last time you got a home loan, you got robbed. I know. I got a loan 20 years ago, and I got robbed. That's why I started LendingTree, the only place you can compare up to 5 real offers side by side for free. It's like shopping for hotels online, but our average customer can save $20,000. At LendingTree, you know you're getting the best deal. So take the power back and come to LendingTree.com. Because at LendingTree, when banks compete, you win.
I finally figured out what car to get. Now, where to find the best deal?
You know, why don't I help?
What's that?
Car Gurus. Color?
Silver. Car Gurus?
Low miles, 2 grand below market value, 5-star dealer rating. Ooh, I'm beat.
Let's do it your way, then.
I heard that.
Car Gurus. Find great deals from top-rated dealers near you at cargurus.com.
When we play for the U.S., we not only want to win, we are well aware of the following we have. We're well aware of how important it is that we play well and represent ourselves well.
The fan gets involved with this team, and it's amazing.
Right here, the flag, we're patriotic in this country, and we want to be number one in everything. So I think people admire, how big a challenge this has been in our history, and we're making progress. And I think they're proud to watch us try to get after it against the best countries in the world. So we've made a lot of progress, and I think people understand that. And as I told you, one day we're going to win a World Cup.
Where is the talent compared to the rest of the world where soccer is the biggest thing?
Our talent's getting better. We're catching up. I would not have said that 20 years ago, and I can say it today. We just need now in our country to create the right environment where our players can get over the top and make that last step to be truly elite players. And I think we're getting closer to that.
When you deal with coaching against some of these super players from Europe, is there a secret to stopping them?
Compete. Everyone says that, all the great soccer playing countries in the world have unbelievable number of quality players. How can the U.S. win? I told a story once before we played Brazil. There are 5,000 Brazilians that play in Europe and around the world, outside their countries. They're so talented. And my comment is only 11 can play against us. The odds are getting more in our favor. You go out and you compete, whether it's Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, or whoever we play in CONCACAF, you have to have the confidence to go out and compete. If you have that kind of confidence, you give yourself a chance to be successful.
Anything that the fans should watch that you've seen so far that has surprised you with some of the players?
I think they're going to see a young player in Christian Pulisic is really going to be a star in this game. You're going to see whoever we put in the goal do a fantastic job. And the biggest thing we want to improve upon is being a better team defensively. But also you're going to see a team that plays on its front foot. We're going to be aggressive from the opening whistle. And we're going to make everyone proud. We're going to win, lose, or draw. We're going to get after it from the start and be a very aggressive team and come after our opponents.
Have you look into a crystal ball? What would this be like for the United States to ever win the World Cup?
I think it'd be unbelievable. We have a fabulous infrastructure now. We have the quality players at the youth levels that eventually some of these players are going to be emerging to being great players in the world's game. So I'm confident that there are a lot of good days ahead for U.S. soccer, and I'd like to be part of that.
If you're a man, then you can't afford to miss this announcement. Because as we get older, we may have to deal with the signs of an aging prostate. And that can mean urinating more often, waking up at night for bathroom trips, dribbling or sudden urges, or issues with intimacy. When you call the number on your screen, you'll get a free bottle of Super Beta Prostate, America's #1 formula for prostate support. For you, this means less urges to urinate, more sleep with less interruptions, easier bladder emptying, and a healthy urine flow. Don't ignore your prostate health. You can reduce your time in the bathroom, regain control, and improve the quality of your life by trying your free bottle of Super Beta Prostate.
Call right now to get your free bottle of Super Beta Prostate while it's still free. Call 1-800-251-0499 or visit superbeta.com. Call 1-800-251-0499.
During the summer's best sales event, you can do endless online research about the XT5. Read all about the available cut-and-sewn leather interior, intuitive technology, and road-trip-worthy legroom. But really, there's nothing like experiencing it for yourself. You can drive a car, or you can drive a Cadillac. Now during the summer's best sales event, current Cadillac owners get this low-mileage lease on this Cadillac XT5 from around $389 per month. Visit your local Cadillac dealer.
MLS hottest team has owned the month of July, one that began with late magic at New England to stun the Revolution. The good vibe continued with home cooking and goals galore. The Red Bulls put up a season-high 5 goals to shake the Quakes, provide their largest margin of victory this season, and keep this midsummer night's dream rolling. After this, on the turf at Minnesota, the league's sudden goal-scoring machine churned out 3 more on the road to a 3rd straight win overall, vaulting them back into a playoff position in the East. But New York's quest for MLS Cup last season was halted all too soon by Montreal, and Mauro Biello's team is back at Red Bull Arena tonight for the first time since last year's playoff victory. The visitors have had the upper hand in this rivalry since the fall, and tonight they look to hang an L on their opponents for the 4th straight head-to-head meeting. Red Bulls Impact next.
The New York Red Bulls are the hottest team in MLS right now, thanks to Sacha Kljestan and his assists. Tonight, Felipe will face his former team, which includes international star Ignacio Piatti. The Red Bulls are looking to remain perfect in the month of July as they face a Montreal Impact team that has never won on the road here during the regular season. As we present the New York Red Bulls against the Montreal Impact live on MSG from Red Bull Arena in Harrison, New Jersey. Good evening and welcome to Red Bull Soccer on MSG. I'm your host, Tina Servasio. Now, this was a busy week for the Red Bulls. They make 2 big moves and add 2 players to their roster, including Panamanian center back Fidel Escobar on loan, as well as acquiring a forward in Mohamed Keita in a transfer. I'll have more on both players as I speak to sporting director Dennis Hamlet at the half, so stay tuned for that. But now we turn it over to the gentleman who will call all of tonight's action, Steve Cangelosi and
Tina, 11 goals scored by this Red Bulls group in their last 3 MLS games. Only a few weeks ago, it was fair to question their ability to score. So what's changed?
Steve, what's changed? The number of players in the midfield. Jesse Marsch might call it 5 in the back. I call it 6 in the midfield. 3 in the back, 6 in the midfield, Bradley Wright up top, and that has given everybody more of the ball, more scoring opportunities, and it's all clicking.
Well, to a man, the players are saying there are more options for Sacha Kljestan now than there were in the first half of the season. What are you seeing out of their captain?
I think that's absolutely correct because Sacha Kljestan, look, he's the man, the maestro in the midfield. Earlier in the season, plenty of criticism, but it really was because he wasn't getting the ball in the right spots. Now, with the new formation, players around him, that enables him to get higher on the field, gives him the ability to make the assist, the final pass, and of course, occasionally score goals. Sacha Kljestan will spray the ball around. He's got a high soccer IQ, so he always knows where to look.
Kljestan's resurgence has him sitting on a total of 9 assists this season. That's 1 off the league lead at the start of play today. His assist last week, 43rd of his Red Bull career, moves him past Thierry Henry for the all-time franchise lead. Of course, it was Montreal that knocked the Red Bulls out of the Eastern Conference playoffs last year, and a win tonight means they would sweep the regular season series from New York, but they come in winning just 2 of their last 7, and they have 1 victory on the road this season. New York-born Michael Salazar is hot. He's scored in each of his last 3 games, but the difference maker since arriving from the Italian League has been midfielder Blerem Djemali.
Well, Steve, you talk about this man, Djemali. Rarely do you find such such a talented player coming from Macedonia. But he's that architect in the central part of the midfield. Has the ability outside the edge of the penalty area to crack that ball on goal. Hits it with the instep drive, right foot with velocity. Again, shifty little move, cut back to the right foot. No goalkeeper's going to get a handle on that. He's a superb player.
4 goals, including a match winner versus the Red Bulls, and 4 assists in just 9 MLS games for the 2-time World Cup veteran who represents Switzerland, loaned by Bologna in May. He hasn't had a break, straight from Serie A to the MLS 2017 season, and he's been the impact player. 8 weeks ago tonight, this was the difference in Montreal's 1-0 victory over New York at Saputo Stadium. Remember the quick restart. Jamili, his first MLS goal. The result of a pretty finish and a fine pass. The rematch is coming up next.
This golden opportunity features silicon, microprocessors, and code. Raw elements transformed into innovation by Lexus. Experience advanced safety technology at the Lexus Golden Opportunity sales event before it ends.
Lease the 2017 NX Turbo all-wheel drive for $299 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
That's Odell Beckham Jr. joining us. There's nothing better than doing the show, and there's a really cool play that goes on behind us, and you can hear the fans react. Every night, we get an opportunity to bring Giants fans an exclusive behind-the-scenes look, and then there's actual showtime. There's nothing better than seeing that open run on MSG and knowing that we're ready to go live. Hello again, everyone. So glad you can join us. I'm Bob Papa.
Giants Training Camp Live. Daily reports continue Monday at 6 on MSG.
Everything has changed. And for the better.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Experience the new Optimum at Optimum.com/experience.
I'm your spokesperson. This is an important message for anyone who took the prescription drug Xarelto or Pradaxa and had a serious bleeding event. If you or a loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered from a serious bleeding event, call the Pradaxa helpline.
Call 1-800-820-0894.
Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to serious internal bleeding, stroke, and death. You may be entitled to compensation. Call the Pradaxa helpline for a free consultation.
Call 1-800-820-0894.
If it's not a perfect night for soccer at Red Bull Arena, it is close. Red Bulls and Impact making their way onto the field for the second and final meeting between the teams in the regular season. Here's the starting 11 put out by Jesse Marsch as his team seeks its 4th consecutive MLS victory. Same formation, 3 in the back, 6 in the midfield. Michael Amir Murillo back from the Gold Cup representing Panama, inserted into the starting lineup. He did come off the bench last week in the victory versus Minnesota. For the Montreal Impact, Mauro Biello with this starting 11. Laurent Simon returns to the starting lineup. He was rested last week. Still no Ignacio Piatti in the starting 11. He is available off the bench. Former Red Bull Chris Duval having one of the more consistent seasons in a Montreal uniform. You're looking at 23-year-old goalkeeper Maxime Crépeau, and this is his MLS debut. Surprise decision we were alerted to about 1 hour ago. For the Red Bulls, of course, it's Luis Robles. That's been the case now for 161 consecutive games, including tonight. Ricardo Salazar is the referee in charge, and underway in what is a perfect setting tonight. Sacha Kljestan quickly on the ball. Anthony Jackson Hamel in the lone striker position for the Impact at the start tonight as we see Sean Davis play this ahead. Here's Tyler Adams, gives into the box. Kljestan gets a shot away, and that's blocked. Follow-up try is fired wide. Kyle Fisher with the first big block of the day.
Steve, we've talked a lot about formation, and how about Tyler Adams? Look where he is. He gets wide to the right, gets it into Kleshin. There's the block, but this is the new formation. Call it 5 at the back, call it 6 in the midfield, but it's Tyler Adams at the opening whistle getting down on the right side of the field.
For the youngster, Crépeau, Quebec native, that'll get the juices flowing in the opening 20-plus seconds of the match. This ball played out for a Red Bulls throw-in. Crépeau appeared for Team Canada at the Gold Cup. He came on in a relief role in their 4-2 victory over French Guiana to get the tournament started. Bradley Wright Phillips won't latch on to this before it's cleared away by Crépeau. Impact Academy player. There are 3 of them in the Montreal lineup tonight. Daniel Royer is fouled by Chris Duval. Sal Zizzo remains in the starting 11 as Kleshin lays this off. Davis back for Sacha Kleshin. They find Tyler Adams wide on the right side. Natural midfielder in a wing back row. Shot by Felipe is saved by Crépeau.
Well, you talk about flying out at the opening whistle. That's what New York Red Bull has done. Once again, it's Tyler Adams wide right. Gets the ball in. Felipe with the shot with the right foot. And Crépeau, his first big test. That's Adams. That's what I love about this formation. And look at that textbook goalkeeping. He gets the opposite arm over. That's what gives him the elevation. Allows Crépeau to make the save.
Red Bulls finally having some success shooting from outside the box. They've scored in their last 2 games that way. Of course, it was Daniel Royer last week in the 3-0 victory over Minnesota. New York on a roll coming into tonight. 1 loss in its last 8 games in all competitions. Daniel Lovitz, the first-year Impact defender, is on the ball for Montreal. Intercept by Felipe. Kleshin in transition. Wright Phillips for Tyler Adams. Adams again. The pass intercepted by Fisher and taken back by the Impact. Jackson Amell with 5 goals on the season. That's second only to Piatti on this Montreal club. He's the man in the striker role tonight.
Well, again, anytime you're on the road, Steve, for Montreal, they just want to weather the storm the first 5-10 minutes, get settled into the game without giving anything up. Fortunate so far not to have allowed a goal.
Exactly what Mauro Biello was saying earlier this week. He's aware the Red Bulls scored in the 16th minute of their last game. He said, we must manage the early portion of this game tonight. A foul called against the Red Bulls here. Salazar, our referee. Jeffrey Greason, Gianni Facchini, Silvio Petrescu round out the staff tonight at Red Bull Arena. The free kick for the Impact. This is Lovitz, the man over the ball. Will send this into no man's land, and it comes back the other way. Montreal's won just once in 10 games on the road this season. But of course, they bounced the Red Bulls from the playoffs last year. The words of Jesse Marsh, they ruined our dream. New York, the higher seed, top seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs back in 2016. Fisher under pressure. Back for Crépeau. Aurelian Collin, Connor Lade making their way back from injury. Possibilities for next week at Yankee Stadium. Kemar Lawrence serving a suspension tonight as he is back from Gold Cup duty for Jamaica. What a tournament that was for the Reggae Boys, advancing all the way to the final. It'll be good to see Lawrence back with his club team surely next week in the Bronx.
Well, you'd have to say 2 of the outstanding players at that Gold Cup tournament for Jamaica were Kemar Lawrence and the goalkeeper Andre Blake.
Laceration keeping him sidelined for the Philadelphia Union as he returns to MLS. Chris Duval. That's too far for Salazar on the near side, and it will come back. Alex Muyl was one of the goal scorers for the Red Bulls last week. Stripped by Duval. His cross is blocked by Zizzo. First quarter of the game will go to the Impact.
Montreal definitely has weapons on set pieces, corner kicks. Both Kyle Fisher and Laurent Simon, they will get forward, have ability in the air. They're lurking at the edge of the penalty area.
And this is their Mr. Everything. Jamali is the man who will take the first corner of the game. 4 assists on the year. Bradley Wright Phillips off his foot, and now Felipe works it out of the danger area. Michael Maria is on it for the Red Bulls. Opening moments in Harrison. Felipe over the top. Watts, Wright Phillips. Sitting on 79 career goals coming into the match tonight. Mouille has Royer. Wright Phillips to the foot of Felipe. Thought about firing from distance. Davis nearly gave it up for Jamali. Out of action for the Impact tonight. Soon Kamara, hamstring injury. Donadell having the knee checked out in Italy, we understand. And former Red Bull Ambroise Ayongo is out for the year with a ruptured patella tendon. That was a big loss. Lovitz moving into his spot at left back.
Well, Mauro Biella obviously trying to shake things up. Made the change in goal tonight. Evan Bush out, Crépeau in. And you talked about Simon. He had been left out of the lineup last week. So Biella trying to shake things up to turn it around.
Here you see Sean Davis, big part of how this team has exploded for 11 goals in their last 3 MLS victories. Marks the first time since early in 2012. Red Bulls scored 3 or more goals in 3 straight games coming into tonight. Wright Phillips. Davis with a touch. Now Adams as it's taken back by the Impact. Jackson Amel for Jamali. Balou Tabla, the dangerous 18-year-old, and too far for Salazar.
Those are 2 players, Steve, that you highlighted in wide positions. Michael Salazar on one side of the field, Tabla on the other. They're going to be matched up against Alex Mouille, Tyler Adams. Those are matchups that you've got to watch.
And they adjusted. We're 8 minutes into the game, Shep, and obviously Biello saw something. He's had them change sides.
Yeah, coaches had very little that they could do during the run of play, the ebb and flow, but he did see something and had them flop sides.
Now Adams might be locked in a battle with Michael Salazar, the hottest Montreal player who's scored in 3 straight. If he scores tonight, he would tie a club record. Foul is called against Tabla in the attacking half of the field for New York. Here's Balou Tabla, 2 goals. He's scored in 8 MLS appearances.
Oh, there it is. Felipe, one of the most foul players in Major League Soccer, and that's because he's so subtle with his movement when he has the ball that he draws the contact.
Only Nicholas Lodero of Seattle has been fouled more than Felipe at the start of play today in MLS. Cizo, question. Jamali, flag is up on Anthony Jackson Amel.
I think Felipe is still the most foul player in the history of Montreal, but he's the type of guy, if you're playing against him, you absolutely can't stand him. And as a teammate, you love him.
He won Canadian championships with the Montreal Impact back in 2013, 2014. And, of course, the trade to New York. Here's Royer, the reigning player of the week in MLS. Watts question. Knocked down outside the box as Crépeau settles this.
Well, all-time foul suffered. Montreal, look at that. Piatti trying to catch up, but again, Felipe gets fouled, Steve, because of his ability and skill with the ball at his feet. He's so deceitful when he has the ball that he draws contact. Very tough to get it away from him.
His greatest asset, perhaps his durability. He never comes out of the lineup, Felipe. He started every game this year, all but one since 2014. Off Alex Mouille.
On this, the opening kickoff, and once Jamali's got the ball, and who's there to stick a right foot in? Who else? Felipe. He's the instigator.
Is that a message? 5 seconds in, we remember you from June 3rd. Going to be different this time?
Oh, it is, but you have to like the energy. There's an elbow. A little fracas with Felipe and Bernier.
Simon guides this across to the foot of Lovitz. Here's Salazar. I said New York City born, which he is. He was raised in Belize. Michael Salazar. Second round pick in 2016 of Montreal.
Watch Felipe here with Bernier there. He didn't like that, so a little elbow to the back of the neck of Bernier. Bernier looks back at him, but he gets in a player's mind, Felipe.
Patrice Bernier, the ageless veteran, 37 years old, earning the starting role in the midfield. He says he's played his last game for Canada. He appeared at the Gold Cup just 2 weeks ago. He'll coach the Impact Academy team next year. Octavio Zambrano encouraging to stay on. He believes he can still contribute for Team Canada, but it appears Bernier's made his choice. This will be his last season as a player. Cizo for New York. Luis Robles tries to seek out Klestjan. Davis to the foot of the captain. Well done by Davis. Klestjan gets it back. Foul by Jamali. Now the quick restart by New York. Felipe. Fouled again by Jamali. That's two in a span of just seconds. Murillo gets this away from Salazar. It's an impact throw-in.
Jamali can't believe it, but once again, that's Felipe. Since the opening whistle, he's been all over him, knocked him off his game.
Terrific impact Jamali has made since coming aboard. Wonder if he'll have to be rested at some point. Again, no break. The end of the Serie A season, straight into MLS. And he continues to thrive for this team. Here's Klestjan. New York takeaway. Off the back heel of Bradley Wright Phillips. Comes back to Klestjan. Gives it a shot. Stop made in front. That was Lawrence Simon with the block. Tumbling in the open field was Felipe, and that's emerged as a front and center battle in the opening minutes here tonight.
Yeah, two critical players in this game, and Felipe, he's had his eyes on Jamali since the opening whistle.
Well done by Muil. Challenged by Tabla. Duval seeks to win it back for the impact. Now Klestjan for New York. Wright Phillips. Pretty pass for Davis. Spins away from traffic. Now Muil on the near side. New York's own Alex Muil. Davis. Pass attempt blocked by Duval. And played back for Cizo. The Impact have never won a regular season game. They've lost all 7 at Red Bull Arena in the regular season. But this is Wright Phillips. Cleared away by Salazar.
Steve, this New York team is unrecognizable from the one we saw early in the year. They're playing with confidence. They're playing with enthusiasm. They're playing hard and fast, and they're moving without the ball.
Playing with Klestjan on the ball a lot. Here's Davis. Laid off by Wright Phillips. Across Tyler Adams. Saved by Crepo. First corner of the game for New York.
Well, look at the baby-faced kid, Tyler Adams. He spent much of this game in the attacking third of the field. Pretty acute angle. Crepo does a good job. Doesn't overcommit. At the near post, just parries it out. But good overlapping, good attacking skill by Adams.
He's done everything but score. In this, his first real season in MLS, he played 1 game last year. That was close to opening his account. Klestjan on the far side with New York's first corner of the game. Aaron Long sees it deflect. Hernan Bernardello, the Argentine midfielder, will play it away.
And Steve, more than anything else, this new formation has allowed Sean Davis and Tyler Adams to be in the starting 11 at the same time. And they have really matured into a dynamite pair.
Felipe. Adams plays it into the area, but nobody gets on that. It'll come back the other way in the 17th minute of play. Red Bulls' next home match, Saturday, August 12th, 7:30 p.m. Don Dwyer and Orlando City SC head to Red Bull Arena for Pride Night and fireworks display following the match. For tickets, visit SeatGeek, the official fan ticket exchange of the New York Red Bulls. Download the SeatGeek app today. Dwyer making his Orlando City SC season debut after the big trade earlier this week. That was a 1-1 draw before another packed house at Atlanta. Stoppage time, tying goal by Atlanta United. Here's Danny Royer, had to take a touch. Challenged by Fisher, and the ball is played away. Royer looks at the referee, there's no foul.
Yeah, I think that's a clean play. Danny Royer doesn't think so. We get a good look at it here. Look, these things can go either way. Just because you got the ball doesn't mean you don't foul. On second look, for me, that's a penalty kick. To the naked eye, Steve, I thought it was a clean play, but just because you get the ball first does not negate the fact that that was a hard foul. It was in the area. It should have been a penalty kick.
Question from the near side this time. Save made by Crapo. Aaron Long with the chance for New York.
Well, this is an absolute onslaught. The first 18 minutes of the game, it's been all New York Red Bulls. Aaron Long bangs the header, squares the shoulders, right at the goalkeeper, Crapo.
Salazar racing down the far side. Some believe that Crapo has it in him to be Canada's future #1 goalkeeper. He is not there yet. Finally making his MLS debut here tonight. This is brought down. Wright Phillips. Lovitz sees this deflect off New York.
Well, it's a great start for the young goalkeeper. Made a big save, diving to his left, parried it out with the left hand, collects this header. That builds confidence in a young player. He's been flawless, although it's still early in the game.
Played in the Canadian Championship from Montreal. They advanced to the final before losing to Toronto, but he excelled in that tournament for the Impact. Question. Far side. Davis is fouled and a free kick for the Red Bulls.
Well, we talked about last year when teams figured out how to play against a New York Red Bulls team that was strictly high pressure all over the field. Now teams are trying to figure this out. So far, they look clueless.
It's Question on the set piece for New York. 20th minute. Trying to break the ice. Simon just heads that right back towards Question for a throw-in. This time the foul is against the Red Bulls. 3 straight wins for New York. 11 goals in that span. What's clicking? We asked head coach Jesse Marsch.
It's been little things, I think. There's more confidence on the field. We've arranged some things tactically to, I think, get the best out of different people. I really think that, we're just managing now to get good performances week in, day out, week in and week out, and that's helping us, I think, now gain more advantages in games and then finding ways to finish them. So, and the best part is we're not just counting on Bradley Wright Phillips, that we're getting production from other players. So that'll be important for our continued success.
Murillo to the far side. Here's Adams. Wright Phillips let it go, enables the Impact to take it back.
Well, I love in our pregame show that Jesse Marsch didn't know what to call his new formation. He said we invented it. I call it the Marsch Swamp.
Here comes Salazar. Pulls it back on Zizzo. Michael Salazar plays it across. Tabla got a foot on it, puts it over the bar.
And it's a swamp in the midfield, Steve, because really when the wide wingbacks, in this case Moeel and Tyler Adams, they're spending 80% of the game in the middle of the field, 6 in the midfield. Here's a rare shooting opportunity for Montreal, nowhere near goal. But it's a numbers game, and they're really crowding the midfield.
Kleshin sends Felipe on his way. Off Alex Moeel and cleared away. Talking to Daniel Royer yesterday as the Red Bulls concluded practice, he said, and I'm quoting here, "We are more connected to Kleshin than we have been all season during these last 3 wins in particular." And here's Sasha again on the ball. Almost every sequence, it seems, for the Red Bulls. Moeel tackled away nicely by Duval. It's a throw-in.
Well, again, Steve, because of those wingbacks, when they pinch into the midfield, Sasha Kleshin doesn't have to go in wide positions or retreat deeper to get the ball. He could stay where he's most dangerous, centrally in the attacking part of the field.
All of the struggles of the first half for Sasha Kleshin. 9 assists. That's 1 off the MLS lead coming into tonight. Throw in. Can Royer get on this? Challenged by Crapo. It's a penalty. Daniel Royer. His hustle leads to the foul. New York with a chance to take the lead.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Perhaps he should have gotten another one earlier. It's all about the quick throw-in, and a beautiful one by Alex Moeel. No doubt about this. Mapo comes out, absolutely takes out both feet of Danny Royer, and now it'll be Red Bulls. Danny Royer stepping up to take the penalty kick.
He's 2 for 2 in this situation this year, but he's also the player who was just fouled. Doesn't discourage him from stepping up. Royer for the New York lead. It's in off Crapo. 1-0, the Red Bulls on top. Goal number 9 for the Austrian Royer.
Well, he's taken penalty kicks before, and opposing teams study the videotape, and so Danny Royer switches it up. Little bit of a feint. He goes right down the middle, sends Mapo diving to his left, and I'll tell you what, Steve, after 24 minutes, this is a well-deserved 1-0 lead.
Five goals in 4 games. Got word several days ago, first Red Bull to be named MLS Player of the Week in 2017.
That's a heads-up quick throw-in by Alex Moeel, and then Crapo comes out, takes out the legs of Royer. That results in a clear decision by Salazar, no doubt about that.
Wright Phillips, Royer again. Near side, off Duval. Red Bulls will go to the corner for a 3rd time. It started innocently for Daniel Royer, a goal in 6 appearances last season. Now, indispensable part of this attack. Kleshin plays it short. Gets it back from Davis. Fisher got on the end of that as it comes back to Sean Davis. Felipe. Back for Kleshin. Lays it off. Zizzo got a foot on it. Still a long ball. Played across long, and it wouldn't go. Should be a 2-0 game.
Absolute chaos in the penalty box for Montreal. Look at this passing. 1 touch, 2 touch. Aaron Long is going to have a nightmare about this. Sitting right there. All he's got to do is lift the ball. He drives it low. And that allows the kick save by Fisher.
Simon into the Red Bulls area where it's plucked away by Luis Robles. Smoke clearing from the celebration in the south end of the stadium as Royer's penalty gives New York the lead.
Well, the only challenge now, Steve, is can you sustain this type of play for 90 minutes? Montreal not even in the game. This is the most dominating 26 minutes we've seen.
Royer. Wanted Davis. Tried to play it into space. Now Bernier. In a maze of red and white. Plays it across and taken here by Duval. Flag stays down. Jim Eiley will get on this for Montreal. Plays it across. This ball, Salazar can't get there before Tyler Adams. How does Adams get there?
Well, again, that's the fluidity of this new formation. Tyler Adams has license to get forward whenever he wants to go, and in this case, track back centrally to make the play.
The intercept by Murillo. Tracking back, Balou Tabla. As for Davis, and Fisher will guide it to the goalkeeper, Crepeau. Terrific to see Murillo back with his club team. Played all 90 minutes in the Gold Cup for Panama. Here comes Tabla from Montreal, and a save by Robles. Got the hand up just in time. An impact corner.
Oh, this is a terrible touch right there by Tabla. He takes the ball out wide instead of back in the goal. Look at this touch. That puts him out wide. Doesn't take away from the superb goalkeeping of Luis Robles. Perfect position, perfect technique. Touches it over for the corner.
Robles starts today as the Red Bulls' all-time leader in minutes played. 14,400 at the start of play today. Balou Tabla from the far side from Montreal. Plays it to Jim Eiley. Tabla once again. Into the box. Cleared away by Davis. Here's Patrice Bernier for the impact. Over the top for Duval. Robles is there. Chris Duval started for the Red Bulls in the playoffs last year against this impact team. 20 games into this season. One of Montreal's better players so far this year. Davis for Klestjan. Now Adams. Tyler Adams rushed it a bit as it goes to the goalkeeper, Crepeau. It's the MSG Red Bulls Kick It to Win $100,000 sweepstakes. Go to msgnetworks.com/sweeps to enter for your chance to take a shot at Red Bull Arena to win 100 grand. Plus, for additional chances to win, enter the code Robles at msgnetworks.com/sweeps. Salcizo for New York. Back to the foot of Felipe. Jim Eiley with the takeaway from Felipe. Plays it across and the pass doesn't get through. Broken up by Long. Off Salazar for a Red Bull throw-in.
Well, I said before, can you, if you're New York, sustain it for 90 minutes? They've had a couple of lapses now. Here, Jim Eiley, we've talked about this matchup. Finally, Jim Eiley, he wins one of them. Can't get the ball to a teammate, but a few lapses, you're still only up by a goal.
Klestjan. Pass off Royer. Simon. Back for Maxime Crepeau. Red Bulls 2 players from last year familiar with Crepeau. Played in the USL for Montreal last season. Red Bulls 2, the USL champion of 2016, as this is played back. Long senses the pressure from Jackson Amell. Zizo. Question. Davis. Back for Sasha Kleshin. Now Royer, the man with the goal, curls this, parried away. The rebound loose. Tumbling to the ground is Adams. It's a corner for the Red Bulls.
Well, you talk about this man, 77, Danny Royer, being hot. He can feel that. Hits that ball with the right foot. Nice little save by Crapo. Parries it out. He had a good look at it. Crapo saw it all the way. Too hot to handle, so he knocks it away.
Now question again from the far side. 32nd minute. Red Bulls trying to extend the 1-0 lead. Wheel. Plays it in. Punched away by Crapo. Evan Bush had started the first 19 games this season for Montreal. Crapo's MLS debut tonight. Here's Davis. Question now on the right side. Zizo gives it a go, and a save by Crapo. Driven by Sal Zizo.
Steve, I'm going to give you credit, but because it was a couple of weeks ago you started talking about how few opportunities Red Bull had from shooting outside the area. And the last two games, they've been absolutely hammering the ball.
Beautiful when it works. They've had goals scored from outside the area by Felipe and Royer. Nothing terrible ever happened from a shot on goal, did it?
No, I really, again, for me, you're never as bad as you think you are. You're never as good. This team is not recognizable to me from the one earlier in the season. They are playing sharp, crisp, fluid soccer. They're playing terrific in the attacking third of the field, rarely giving up opportunities the other way. You know, you start to get ahead of yourself, but you could see this team, they're one game away in the U.S. Open Cup from going to the finals. And who knows, with MLS Cup, you just got to get into the playoffs and be playing well.
Well, that's been proven in recent years, hasn't it? Seattle, the reigning champion, as we get a look at Jesse Marsch. 44 wins, already the franchise's all-time winningest head coach. He's midway through his third season. What the coach has been most pleased about, saying we've got a long way to go, but right now we're in a good way. But Kleshin, Bradley Wright Phillips, and Robles, he's pointed to that trio in particular. They've endured the growing pains of a young team in the first half of the season, and now it's bearing some fruit.
Well, and one of the things I like most about Jesse Marsch is he's very straightforward, very honest, and all season long, when Bradley Wright Phillips and Sasha Kleshin were not having success, he said it's really not about them, it's about the rest of the team around them. That's proven to be true right now.